what time does it fire up that you think, you know what, like I'm teaching sports marketing, I'm in branding all the time? When do you start like putting pen to paper and start thinking, wait, why don't I just draw something on the side and someone is there a light bulb moment that goes off, or someone that sees you draw that logo that's on the cup and someone's like, that's a kick-ass logo?
I think the light bulb moment, again, you go back to Sam Anderson's book Boomtown. It was about that same time when the Thunder had come back, and the Thunder had implications for college athletics and things like that as well. But you would see a lot of apparel. You'd see we talked about licensing. People would put out Thunder apparel, but it wasn't NBA licensed. It was a lightning bolt and a buffalo, or the bison, or something like that. So it was kind of the blue and the orange and skirting the rules of being a copyright violation. But it was Oklahoma pride, Oklahoma City pride, where we're from, and a lot of resurgence at that same time was some of this boutiques, some of the neighborhoods that were popping up, the shops. Even we talked about coffee shops, and so a little bit of a resurgence of the shop local and those type of things. So there was a lot of that going on. Then Twitter became big, right? Mm-hmm. So people are talking about Oklahoma issues and Oklahoma weather and things like that. And I think, I didn't coin the phrase Oklamerica, but it was something that kind of occurred to me like, hey, that's kind of a fun phrase that might be good social media wise. Yeah. Maybe I could, see if somebody else has already gotten the accounts, if somebody's using that phrase. And I, did this basically the Google, right? You did your search.
Yeah.
And I only saw it a handful of times pop up with somebody's 4th of July celebration or something like that. So I quickly, this was 2014.
Okay.
So, and I know that because that's when we registered the domain for Oklamerica.com, and, got the social media. So I jumped on the Facebook and the Twitter and Instagram, and then didn't really know a whole lot, what's next, right? So I wasn't thinking I'm going to create a brand. It was just more of a way to kind of get in the conversation. And along with that, you had to have an icon or something, to go with your Twitter page or Twitter handle. So started sketching up a few ideas and putting, Adobe Illustrator and doing some versions of the logo. Yeah. And I had about 2 or 3, iterations of it. And one was the USA shape, with the word in it. And I'm fortunate enough that Oklahoma falls in the middle of the country, that it fit in kind of my vision, and I wanted something kind of fun and whimsical, and not too serious. And so that kind of worked, and I, sent it to my friends, and hey, what do you think of this? Yeah. And my buddy of mine, and I know you're going to talk to him later about his music career and all his talents, but Wade Tower has been a great friend of mine and kind of a collaborator and a sounding board, and he'll tell me if something is good or bad. He really liked it from the get-go. So we created some decals, and so for about a year it was a Twitter page and decals for a car. It really wasn't until a year later when I kind of had the confidence to try to, do I make a T-shirt out of this? Right. Will anybody want a T-shirt? Will anybody, think this is a cool thing they want to put on their chest or on a hat or something? So probably 2015. I sent the logo to a friend of mine, and she has Flanagan's, which is a boutique here in Stillwater, and I just didn't want her to carry it. I just wanted to get her 2 cents. Hey, if you know anybody in the industry, because I didn't have a clue about retail and shopping, and still don't have much of one, but I've since learned a lot. But she says, hey, I'll take it. We got Mom's Weekend coming up. Can you get this printed in these colors? And I remember, I think she wanted 36 shirts. Yeah. And I thought, we've made it, right? This is we are in business now. Yeah. And another person over in Tulsa, I'd sent it through a friend, was Mary Beth Babcock. Yeah. And if you haven't talked to her,
I've talked to her, but she's so busy I can't nail her down to get her on the podcast.
She's the coolest lady in Oklahoma, and she had a shop at the time called Dwelling Spaces down in the Blue Dome district, and she did consignment with local apparel and different things like that, and local artists. And so I showed it to her, just kind of, would she give me a stamp of approval? And she said that she would carry some shirts at her shop. And so, within a few months, I had a real reason to get shirts printed, and kind of the brand was, sort of off and running, like this is a real deal. And, I use the term brand. I didn't think of it as I'm making a brand. I know some people start out and that's their goal, right? This was very organic, and it just started out as, something that I had an idea that something could be there. I didn't know what it was, just to try to be a part of that conversation. It was different than my day job at OSU. It was something that was kind of, hitting some of those creative parts of my brain that weren't orange and black,
right?
A little bit something different, and so it was definitely a side hustle that continues to be a side hustle. And so if it could be extra income for the family, if it could help put my daughters through college,
awesome.
Then that's kind of the thing that carried from there. But the cool thing for me about where it's gone are the people that I've met, the places that I've been. I think about the Hot Mess Boutique in Broken Bow, Oklahoma, and places like that took a chance on carrying my stuff and liked it. DNA galleries in Oklahoma City have been amazing for me. And just to be in the shops, Ida Red in Tulsa and some of those places, for me to get to know people from there, to travel to these shops, to have an excuse to drive around, to Altus or to Chickasha or Ardmore and deliver shirts and things like that. It's been really cool.